hopefully everybody's prepared because I think that's what's going to be a little bit of a surge and wave and water event. It sure sounds like. Once again, CBS 47, Fox 30, the place to be on the TV side. 104.5 FM, the place to be on the radio side for all your Hurricane Dorian information and the latest. Nobody better than Mike Borish and the First Alert Weather Team, and he's got you covered on that side. And for us, if you want a reprieve from the weather, we're here for you. Looks like all week long on ESPN 690.
I have a question. Oh, go ahead.
Different time, maybe different age, but I remember growing up, we had a rec soccer game, and it was during a tropical storm that we played this thing.
You played?
Played during a tropical storm. We tried to play. I will say that. We got out there, and then like 20 minutes into the game, first of all, the ball was not cooperating, as you would expect with, 30, 40 mile per hour winds. And then like 20 minutes into the game, one of the goals just like fell over on top of the goalie.
Oh, my gosh.
And then everyone was like, all right.
This is not a good idea.
We'll do it later. But no, man, growing up, I mean, those hurricane days off were great. That was when you're a kid and you just go out into the storm in your neighborhood running around. I'm not advocating for this, kids. But like we would go with like skateboards and big sheets and just like let the wind take us down the street and stuff. That's what you're supposed to do when you're a kid. You're supposed to go out there, have some fun and learn your life lessons.
Yes.
Which we did.
And be careful. Don't do what they did.
Take my lesson and don't go do that.
Speaking of those hurricanes,
it was awesome.
Speaking of the hurricane days off, Brent, we're not gonna have off tomorrow because people need their sports, and I understand that, man.
It's game week, man.
Yeah, hey, I understand that. And
Screw you, Dorian.
I'm all for it. My question to you is, then, I mean, I'm assuming it's going to be storming pretty hard tomorrow. Before I come to the show, can I get picked up in the Action Sports tracker thing?
Storm tracker.
It's not the Action Sports. The
storm
Action
tracker?
Sports and weather tracker.
Action News Jack's First Alert Storm Tracker.
There we go. Thank you.
It's going to be out working.
It's probably not going to be available.
They can be out working, picking me up so I can come to the studio.
Marino's truck can get you. You just
Hey, I've been in a GNC before, okay? No offense to you, Brent. I haven't been in what do you call it again?
It's the Action News Jack's First Alert Storm Tracker.
Yeah, I haven't been in one of those yet.
The Storm Tracker's pretty cool.
Everyone keeps telling me, guess what? I wouldn't know.
We'll get you in it on a nice day.
The only issue with
I want to see the full capabilities. I want hurricane force
We wouldn't be able to fit you with two other people in
Probably
there.
not.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's really only space for two.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no backseat because it's got all equipment.
Well, it sounds like someone's got to go on the roof then or something.
The Storm Tracker's cool. It's awesome, actually. I think it's
amazing.
From a TV standpoint, it's so very heavy. Good.
Tell me how great it is. Yep.
Yeah.
Keep going, guys.
Changed the game, by the way, in the market a little bit. It did.
Okay.
It was a great move.
It's weird driving it, by the way, because it is so heavy.
But that's what I was going to say. You can't go like they actually. It's like 50, 55. Well, you can, but you're not supposed to go higher than that. But like I've driven it down for the golf tournament for our Dream 18, and we'll put it out there.
Just like on the course?
Yeah, we just put it out as some promotional type thing.
Cool. So you'll see it there when you come out on that day.
And you can take pictures with it. You can get in it that day.
Brent said take pictures. Like I'm going to take pictures of it. No, I want to drive that thing or at least ride it.
Just don't put it on a par 3 course.
That's right.
There you go.
But, you're not winning it.
Yeah.
If you get a hole in one.
All right. Well, hey, it was worth a try. I figured I'd ask and at least see if we had that at our disposal, but we're not running it yet. And maybe one day when we do start running it, Brent, I can get that ride.
You can. The thing about it, though, is great, is like what Stuart was saying. It's so heavy that you have to go slow. So it's so weird to drive on the highway at like 53 miles an hour.
Yep.
So it's made out, unlike being plastic, I assume it's like just straight
it's got a
steel.
reinforced frame because of all the additional equipment.
Sure.
Like it's got a satellite dish on top of it. It's got all this state-of-the-art weather tracking equipment that the First Alert weather team uses.
In it?
What's that?
Can you watch TV in it?
I believe it's got a monitor in the back that you can pop out and bring the broadcast onto it in there,
Oh, wow.
Now, sitting in the front seat, you can't, but that's like when it's stopped and you're in your spot, your location.
Okay.
It's a cool deal, man. Watch the Action News Jack's First Alert Storm Tracker on CBS 47 and Fox.
Part of our great coverage with that
By the way, that was better promotion for the Storm Tracker than we've ever given it.
Yeah, you guys are welcome.
I don't know. They drove that thing out on the beach with like the chopper tracking it and watching it go on the beach through like little waves and stuff. So that was probably a fun
promotion
day.
too.
Beaters had a good time that day.
Hey, how about this? Okay, linebacker Austin Calitro signed off waivers from Seattle. Joe Giles Harris waived by the Jacksonville Jaguars. I feel for these guys that they make the roster on Saturday, and nothing's guaranteed. But dang it, man, can you get me to the game in that game check?
I know.
And that is the worst part of the business.
And I'm not sure the rule on that, where if you get cut, if you make the roster and then you get cut before game 1, do you still get that game check? Because I think
you know what. As you say that, it might be today is a deadline because isn't today the day? Remember, it was 5 days before. Now I know they had the luncheon last week, but it was actually a luncheon that used to be done on Tuesday of game week. And that's when Garrard got cut. And they had to make the cut either by like noon or 4 or something like that, or he would be.
That's why they picked such an awful time. Yeah.
So he'd get all the dollars. So I think. What time? I mean, this thing came across. I mean, I know it just came across, but maybe they got paperwork in by 4 o'clock or whatever the deadline is. But forget about just even the one game check. You worked all camp.
No, I know.
You've been in here. You did a nice job. They were really impressed with Joe Giles Harris. They really. I mean, I remember talking to the coaching staff. They're like, the guy does everything right. He's done everything right. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. He makes the football team, and then a couple of days later, here he goes. He's getting waived for a guy. And by the way, this guy might be better. He might be great. It's just you feel a little bit for these guys that go through that, and they're like, yes, I made it, and now I haven't made it.
Well, it shows you just, the stress of the NFL, Brent. I mean, like, yeah, sure, you got those guys that make millions of dollars that sign those big-name contracts, or the starters that are probably pretty comfortable, when they walk in that stadium. But if you're on the outside looking in, you're one of the last guys in the roster, you can never be comfortable. You literally walk into the stadium every single day hoping, man, I hope there's not a guy waiting to say, hey, GM needs to see you or coach needs to see you, bring your playbook. Like, you go to that stadium every single day expecting that. And I'm not to say maybe that this guy wasn't expecting it. I'm sure there was maybe some background, but let's be honest. I mean, it's a great day when you survive the cuts. You call your family and everything. You're all celebrating.
Yeah.
And a couple days later, man, it's just a rude awakening. It's the business. It's cutthroat, but it's the business.
Found some video of him mic'd up earlier in the preseason for the Seahawks. So if you want to check that out, go check out my Twitter at Stuart A.S. Jacks is where you can find that.
All right, I like
had him mic'd up, so you can get a little look into his personality and his playing ability.
Very good find. Hey, we got to take one more break. When we come back, we'll stay in your lane and kind of get you cooking for the first week of the NFL season. We have a football game in about 48 hours. That's weird.
That is very weird.
It's like the preseason was never going to end. It's like Dorian's never going to go away. It's like they're kind of the same.
Yeah.
But the fact that we got a football game for real in 2 days, we better get this fantasy draft thing
get
going.
That done. Or not draft anybody from those two teams.
Will be taking place Thursday during the show at 4 o'clock.
During the show, we're going to do a fantasy football draft.
We're the only show to do it during the show, I think,
that
right?
Might have potential to be really great or really terrible.
That's what I'm saying, man. Adds a little dynamic to it. I think we're the only show to ever do the fantasy draft ever. You know what? I'm going to go on. I'm going on a limb right now. All the podcasts out there, all the radio shows out there in America, we're the first ones.
The first ones ever.
Tell me someone who hasn't.
I can guarantee you this, people. It's the first one that's ever been done on ESPN 690. Close, are you here?
No, he's not here.
Well, then we're not taking a break.
No. You want me to stay in your lane then?
No, let's talk around the NFL a little bit.
If I knew the button, I'd go in there and press it for you.
Where'd he go?
I don't know, man.
I think there was free pizza out there. Probably. Let's go running for it.
Forget about the break. We'll just go all the way to the top. Hey, Thursday's game. You like the opener, Chicago, Green Bay? You like the matchup?
I mean, I do, because it's the Bears-Packers. This is coming from a guy who, when he went to Chicago, because the Bears signed him, all my friends reached out to me and said, hey, man, congratulations, but when you play the Packers, I'm going to hope that you guys lose and you do horrible. So, and I got that from family members, cousins, and friends. So, obviously, it's 100 years in the making. Now we're talking about this Thursday night game, Brent. So, I'm excited for it. This is one of the rare instances, I think, the past couple of years where the Bears are probably going to be the favorites. Green Bay is kind of on a little bit of a slide lately. Chicago's built up their defense. Khalil Mack leading that way. And Chicago's an interesting team. I think it's going to be between them and the Vikings to win the NFC North. Sorry to all you Packer fans out there listening, but that's just what I think. And I'm curious to see Aaron Rodgers in this new offense. Can he get it together? Does he have help? Or is this going to be another season where he's going to be left kind of shaking his head a little bit, wondering who's going to help me?
I feel like we have to pump up the Green Bay Packers because of Aaron Rodgers. I just don't know if their football team recently, especially, equates to the hype. And it's hard. Like everybody, when you pick teams, and we'll do this right on Thursday, we'll do some divisional picks. And when you pick teams, you're like, okay, I don't want to leave Aaron Rodgers out. I mean, he might be the best quarterback in the game.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not sure their roster, their team. There's always something going on.
They have Adams at wide receiver. He's one of the best in the league.
No, they have some good players.
They have Valdez Scantling, who's a younger guy, supposed to be the 2 receiver. Aaron Jones is an okay running back, but Yeah, I just...
Well, and a new coach that people don't really know how that's going to go.
Yeah. Well, let's think about this. Here's the crazy thing about the Green Bay Packers, Brent. You got Brett Favre, one of the best quarterbacks to ever do it. You have Aaron Rodgers, arguably one of the best quarterbacks right now to ever do it. Only 2 Super Bowls between those 2 guys. That says all you need to know right there.
And a lot of hype, though, is my point.
And a lot of
hype.
Yeah.
Atlanta Braves effect right there.
Yeah, kind of a little bit.
Only get that one title out of that talent that you had for all those years with that pitching staff. I was going to say, I think it's great that you got a big rivalry game to get it started with, but honestly, it could be the 2 worst teams in the NFL, and I think everybody would be excited for an NFL game that matters.
One for all you fantasy fans out there, David Montgomery, rookie.
They love him.
They love him.
Love him.
And it's interesting because you have Tariq Cohen, too, who can kind of do some of the same things, but the way they're hyping up David Montgomery now, he's supposed to be like that next big thing, so I'll definitely be watching him as well.
Yeah, let me know what round you think you're going to get him in.
I know, right?
Hey, fascinating game with the Titans and Browns, coming up in week 1. Falcons and Vikings.
Yep.
Fascinating game, I think. There are some good ones. Rams and Panthers, they got to come across
Houston's
the country
playing
to play.
New Orleans.
Giants and Cowboys.
Jags and Chiefs, come on.
I think the Jags and Chiefs have the best story.
Houston Saints is what I'm watching, though, too, Brent. The Houston Texans taking on the New Orleans Saints.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Two pretty high-powered offenses. Well,
Games
at least
that
what we've been
matter.
led to
Thank
believe.
goodness.
That's a Monday Nighter.
Yeah.
Hey, when we come back, a little Stay in Your Lane, as well as we put a bow on the show here on a Tuesday on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m.
We're happy to be joined by Jenna Lane of ESPN.
It's actually my first time interacting with Austin, too, so no relation here.
Well, Jenna, that was my first question was, have you been to any family reunions in Chicago? Because I don't think I've ever seen you before. I just want to make sure, though.
And by the way, Jenna, let's just make this perfectly clear. It's a really good thing you're not related to Austin.
Oh, wow, Brent.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
That's how you feel about it. Okay,
It's just
Brent.
a really good thing.
Off to a good start.
On ESPN 690.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Codan is now Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level.
What happens when your alarm system gets triggered? Let's say you're at work and your house is getting broken into. You want the police called, right? Well, that only happens with a Safe Touch security system. You heard me, right? Yes, the law states that if an alarm is not verified, the alarm contractor must call the key holders before calling the police, giving the crooks plenty of time to clean out your home and have an easy getaway. But the Safe Touch two-way communicator verifies the holdup in just seconds, allowing the Safe Touch operators to dispatch emergency authorities in seconds, also providing valuable information to the authorities. Customers also receive an instant text verification as well as live video of who's in your home. This video can be transferred to the police, giving them a huge advantage in the war on crime. Don't just think you're safe, know you're safe. Get the Safe Touch Advantage now and receive a free color listen and talk camera and just $5 extra for storage. Get the Safe Touch Advantage now at safetouch.com. License number EF233 with approved credit terms and conditions apply.
Savings on top of huge selection on top of rave customer reviews. That's how they do the National Clearance Event at Arlington Toyota. During the National Clearance Event, you can take your pick from over 1,000 new and pre-owned on Arlington's lot. I mean, come on! 1,000 vehicles. You know you're going to find what you want and save during the National Clearance Event at Arlington. Right now, during the National Clearance Event at Arlington, buy a 2019 Camry LE from just $18,888. That's a pre-owned 2019 Camry LE from just $18,888. Or buy a 2019 RAV4 XLE from just $24,888. That's a pre-owned 2019 RAV4 XLE from just $24,888. Plus, you get the Arlington Toyota $5,000 Advantage Club with your purchase. Just one of the tons of reasons why Arlington's earned 4.7 out of 5 stars and over 7,000 Google reviews. Arlington knows how to do the national clearance sale right, but you've got to get it while the getting is good. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, and online 24/7 at arlingtontoyota.com.
I think it's time to let go.
23rd ranked Stanford at USC. Saturday at 9:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN. Presented by Dr. Pepper.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
I'm working on Action Sports Jack's Dream 18 prizes. You know the hardest thing about putting together a golf tournament?
What is that?
Is the prizes. There are two things. Tee gifts. So, like, what do people get when they come up and say they're here?
Yep.
A lot of people get, like, polo shirts or hats or bags or whatever. I mean,
I've had differing levels of good stuff from different tournaments I've been to.
Well, if you're paying $10,000 to get into the tournament, you're probably going to get a lot of stuff. Well, that's not this kind of event.
And when you're not good at golf, it's less about the course that you're playing on, more about the swag.
Of course.
Oh, it absolutely can.
Why do you think I play the game?
That's it.
It's about the swag.
Speaking of, did you see I snapped my driver the other day?
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you post it on Twitter?
Yeah, I played Friday morning, broke the driver. I've never had that happen.
Did you snap it out of just a powerful hit, or did you snap it because you were upset?
There was
be honest.
No,
man.
seriously. I kind of like telling the stories of my anger. Like my 4-iron, I need a new shaft on the 4-iron because, I got mad.
Yeah.
John Bachman, I almost took him out one time by throwing my club, and it almost hit him, like 40 yards down the field, the fairway.
He had it coming.
Almost destroyed.
I'm not gonna ever play with you guys anymore.
Almost destroyed Action News Jacks, just like that. And then, but this one, obviously we brought our clubs to Ohio.
Sure.
And I've brought my clubs on the road a lot. But on the first tee, I hit the drive, like I swing, and I hit it just okay, but partially because I know why now. As I finished, half the club is just hanging on like by a thread of plastic or whatever the shaft is made out of, graphite. And it just was dangling.
Jeez.
Like I've had it before where like if you keep your clubs in your car in the summer,
the
epoxy there will come out, and so I've had clubs like the head will go flying off, and then you just got to re-epoxy it. Mm-hmm. But this thing was completely just snapped.
You got to put that thing back in the bag, and then when you fly back and land, be like, "Oh my goodness, my driver snapped!" And what did you guys do?
They don't do it anyway. They don't take care of that anyway.
No,
and I think. It's a good case. It's a nice case. It's not a hardcover case, though.
Yeah. Well, if you find like a 2-pack of drivers with a left-handed one and a right-handed one, let me know. We can go in on it halvesies.
Hey, what a great excuse to have to get a new driver.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Why not?
Better my excuse.
What are you going to go with? I mean, I don't know.
Okay. All right. I don't know, but I played the whole round with a 3-wood, and I'm not going to brag
better.
here.
Yeah, I probably played better.
But I shot a 79.
There you go.
Okay.
With
not
a 3-wood.
Yeah.
Might have been a message. Get the driver out of your bag, dude.
Yeah, could be.
Okay, go ahead. Stay in your lane. What you got?
All right, 1 second here. Sorry.
Yeah, start it up. That's the Storm Tracker.
That's the Storm Tracker coming to pick me up tomorrow, or at least I wish. Is there an MP3 player in the Storm Tracker? Oh, do we really? Oh, dang. Okay. Cruise control. Hey, Cruz, do you have the audio? Probably not, right? I emailed you some audio.
Did you send me audio?
I mean, I emailed it to you, if that's what you mean by sending it to you.
Listen, man, the guy's working on cameras. The computer crashed 3 times. He had to go to the bathroom when we had to go to a break.
All right.
What do you expect?
Can I just do 2 pump your brakes then?
Sure.
Yeah, pump them both.
All right.
What was your cruise control? Just what is it?
It was the U.S. Open with the...
Nadal?
No, Naomi Osaka versus Coco Gauff.
Oh, that was good stuff. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Take my word for it. She said some really nice words about Coco Gauff's
we can do it tomorrow, because I actually have some more thoughts on that.
Okay, cool. So can I do 2 pump your brakes then real quick?
Sure, you can do whatever you want. This is your show, too, man.
It's just stay in your lane. It's not stay in your mark. No, pump your brakes.
Plus, you're bigger than me.
Going out to Ja'Kai Polite. Sorry, Stuart. Former Florida Gator, man.
Polite.
Pass rusher, 3rd-round pick by the Jets. A supposed first-rounder. Polite dropped in a horrible combine showing after running a low 4.8, which I would have definitely took. But it really dropped is when he failed in the interviews, and they continue to snowball from there as he wasn't a fan of being critiqued by teams. He then goes to the Jets in the 3rd round, gets cut, and a 3rd round pick getting cut, Brent, that's not an easy feat in itself. And then it comes out that he's also owed more than $100,000, in fines for being late and other things of that nature.
Josh Scobie, by the way, tweeted, he said, it's hard to get $100,000 fines in the offseason.
Well, Brent, like each fine's like maybe $2,000.
That guy just doesn't get it, man. I tweeted
$100,000.
Wasted talent, and it's too bad. He's going to regret a lot of things down the road.
$100,000.
The best online comment was saying that they hope his mom didn't quit her job because his Twitter account is @RetireMoms. Ja'Kai Polite.
We talked to him at Pro Day, man.
We did.
He was coming out of the combine. It was terrible.
It was.
And you kind of sensed that he might have gotten it.
Right. But
and he obviously didn't get it.
Yeah.
All right. What else you got?
This was actually from our boss. Nick sent me this, and it's too frustrating not to share. Billy Joe Saunders, who is one of the best middleweights in the world, actually ranked number 3 right now. He's a fighter from England, trains in Tyson Fury's camp, so he's kind of got this cockiness to him. He's undefeated. He's kind of a showstopper, Brent. He's a really entertaining kind of fighter. He was slated to maybe fight Canelo next, or Triple G, 2, big name fighters at the middleweight division. Well, now, instead of that, he will be fighting on YouTube or on DAZN as part of an undercard between KS1 and Logan Paul. Who's KS1 and Logan Paul? Well, they're 2 YouTubers who don't like each other and had a match last year. They're having a rematch now. So in case you guys don't understand what I'm trying to say, I'm saying one of the best middleweights in the world, one of the guys who's the most talented middleweight in the world, will be fighting on an undercard with 2 YouTubers. Take it for what you want.
Pulling in new audience.
Now, yeah, but it's not like boxing's dying or anything.
That's a bad move. By the way, I want to ask you about All Elite Wrestling the other night.
I know.
Not right now. We'll do it tomorrow a little bit. I'll give you a little moment in the sun on the wrestling. And I do want to talk about that Coco Gauff moment. That was interesting, plus some more U.S. Open stuff. Tiger was fist pumping last night with Rafael Nadal. All right, make sure you pay attention. CBS 47, Fox 30, 104.5 FM, WOKV for all the Hurricane Dorian latest. We'll be back with you tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Stay safe out there, everybody. Thanks for listening. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau. If you've received a letter from the IRS and can't pay them, things can get bad quickly. The IRS can seize your bank account, garnish your wages, and place liens against everything you own. If this is you, contact J. David Tax Law, a local firm right here in Jacksonville. Your first step to stop IRS harassment is a no-cost consultation. They explain exactly your options and how they will resolve your tax issue. Only highly experienced tax attorneys will represent you, and fee payment plans are affordable for everyone. Get the protection you deserve. Peace of mind is only a click or phone call away. The fastest way to get started is to call 904-507